In university, Nigeria happened to me.
How so? How so? Because so many people have different Nigerian stories, and Nigeria has fucked so many people
Nigeria
up.
happened to me.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to be a doctor, right? So I did the entrance exams in Unilag, but I didn't get in. I was like, okay, my parents were like, okay, since you were not able to get in, why not just do microbiology and then from there, like move on to doctor this thing. Around that period, my dad wanted me to study medicine outside of the country.
Okay.
So I did microbiology. I passed though, but by the time I got my admission letter, it was soil science that they gave me. So I went from biology to a farmer. I graduated as a soil scientist.
Interesting,
yeah. So I wasn't happy with what I was studying. Right. I knew I wanted something more. Yeah. I wanted to be something better, you know. I just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to go into business, right? The first thing I did, I was in 200 level. My dorm, we're always having these electrical problems, you know, and I felt that, okay, this is a problem. And I feel that there should be a solution to this. I said, okay, how can I fix this? What if I can do this? What if I can do that? So the idea around that time was to connect students with other students that could fix things.
Oh,
yes. So instead of waiting for the indigents, I knew that there were some other students that could do this thing. Right. So I said, okay, why not connect students like the handymen to other handymen and people that could sell their stuff like a
marketplace.
In the school. I was not a coder, but I have ideas, you know. And this was the first time. And looking back, it was crazy to me because I was actually doing product management work without any. I was UI UX. I was drawing
the whole experience.
Yes, I was drawing I was mapping, user mapping with no prior knowledge.
Wow.
We built this in this dormitory. We called it Jack App.
You're currently running Pocket Foods. How did you even get into the food industry in the first place? Like, why did you choose this problem? Hello and welcome to the Made in Africa podcast. I'm your host, Kemeshi Samuel, and in the studio here with us today, we have Omolara Olarerin, CEO of PocketFood. Thank you for doing this with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Amazing. I think we're going to have a very swell conversation. Let me start off with what it was like growing up. So usually, as adults, we might not know it, right? But a lot of what we do and even the career paths we end up on are usually influenced by our parents in one way or another, right? Some come out outrightly and say, I want you to be a lawyer. And then they put the conditions that make you be a lawyer in place at home, tell you do this, do that, whatnot. And some of us had parents that were or that are entrepreneurial, right? Doing so many businesses, everything, anything to just make sure there's food on the table for the kids. Was that the case for you? Did you grow up in an entrepreneurial background, or were your parents more like corporate people that would like go to school to decide, get a good degree and then just enter the corporate world? What was your growing up like? I
would say just what you mentioned. My parents were corporate. My mom worked in real estate. Okay. My father was a doctor. Since I was born, I've been hearing, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. So everyone wanted me to be a doctor, my dad, my mom. In fact, there's a way my dad greets me when he was alive. He would say, Dr. Olarerin. That's what he used to call me every morning. Cool. So yes, there's always been these expectations from me that I'm going to be a doctor, follow my father's footstep and be a doctor. But I think for me, from a very early age, I have known in my heart of hearts that wasn't who I was. I knew I wasn't going to be a doctor. I didn't know what I was going to be, but I knew it was not going to be a doctor. But I just kept quiet, tried to be the good girl and not see anything. I think when I started to realize that I was going to be an entrepreneur was when I started reading. I started reading at a very early age. I can remember the first piece of literature I ever held onto. I think I was 4 years old or so, because it was really, really early. It was a newspaper, and I was so entranced by the newspaper. I was entranced by the words, you know, and I would just look at the pictures, right, for a long time. I can't remember if I knew how to read then, but I would just look at pictures for a long time. And then I think my mom noticed, and she started piling up newspapers in the parlor. Yeah. So I would just go there, you know, just started reading newspapers a lot. You know, it got to the attention of my teachers, my aunties. They're like, this girl, do you want to be a journalist?
Yeah.
You know. So, but to me, that wasn't what I was looking at. I was looking at people in there, like, what did they do to get featured in the newspaper?
Yeah.
What did they do? So it's upgraded to magazines. I started looking at magazines. I remember one, Ovation. I used to read a lot of Ovation then. You know, I'll see these pictures there, and I'll be like, wow, these are very beautiful women. These are handsome men. You know, in their suit and tie. Like, what did they do to get here? And I started reading about them. You know, most of them were entrepreneurs. They owned their own businesses. And I think that was the seed for me, that I wanted to be someone that was good enough to be in magazines, someone that's good enough to be in newspapers. And I didn't really tie it to entrepreneurship until I read about Mark Zuckerberg. I think I would tie my passion for entrepreneurship because of this Facebook guy. I was in love with his story of how he came from the dorm room and then created something that became the parts and parcel of everyone's life all over the world. And I said I wanted to do something like that. I want to create something that is very impactful, that will impact the world as well. So I think that is where it started for me, that I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Fantastic. Thank you. So what was school like for you? I know going through secondary school, I had different phases where I wanted to be, at one point, a pilot, then another point, an archaeologist. Did you go through that phase as well? Were you influenced by maybe a movie you saw and you saw a cool pilot, right? You know, when they are going through the airports, you're like, these guys are cool. Yeah. That sort of made me want to become a pilot at one point in time. But what was your own process like? And how did you eventually settle on what's the word I'm looking for now? A department, right? That was what we used to call it in secondary school here in Nigeria. So how was that like for you?
Remember I told you that it has been hammered in my head to be a doctor. Yeah. So through school, every time they ask me when I was secondary school, primary school, what's your future ambition? What do you want to be? My default answer used to be doctor. Even if I didn't believe it, I always said a doctor. Yeah. So I picked up science in school. So it was science, primary school and secondary school science and everything. But I think in my mind then, because I used to read a lot and because of that I started writing. I've always been a writer. Nice. So there's this fun thing that happened to me. I think it wasn't just 2, just 3 or SS1, I can't remember quite correctly, but there was a time I wrote a storybook from 60 leaves from back to finish, back to back, from the front to the last page. Yes, I wrote a story. I think it was an oral story then about haunted school or something. Okay. So, and then my friends read it, they loved it, they started passing the book around. So everybody in my class started, I was seeing my book, everyone's hand. I was like, so I think that to me was like, oh wow, so I'm a good writer. Yeah. So I started writing a lot. I started writing short stories. I started writing, little by little, and I read a lot. I was a bookhead nerd, flat out nerd. Yeah. So I read a lot, and I wrote a lot. So it wasn't until after secondary school I started the entrepreneurial thing proper. Yeah. I first started with Ankara. Fabrics. Yeah. I wear glasses, so I will wrap the Ankara around my glasses and round about the frame.
That's cool.
So people like it. Yeah. So I started it for my friends in jam. I did jam lessons. Yeah. So I started doing that for other guys in jam lessons. I started selling. I think I was selling for 200 naira then or so. That's cool. Then also Ankara tote bags. Yeah. So I did that. I think there was a time when Ankara was really crazy. That 2012, 2013. It was really crazy then. So everyone was doing Ankara this, Ankara that. So I started doing it and selling it. Okay. And in university, Nigeria happened to me.
How so? So many people have different Nigerian stories, and
Nigeria happened to me. So I was supposed to be a doctor, right? Okay. So I tried to do the entrance exams, Unilag, other schools, but I didn't get in. And then I was like, okay, my parents were like, okay, since you were not able to get in, why not just do microbiology and then from there move on to doctor this thing. So around that period, my dad wanted me to study medicine outside of the country. So he was like, okay, let's just get into microbiology so you can use that to enter. So I did microbiology. I passed though, but by the time I got my admission letter, it was soil science that they gave me. So I said from biology to a farmer. So I became, I said, it was so funny to me. I was farmer. Like, well, by that time I was like, I spent like 1 year at home. I was like, let me just do it, you know, because
you went?
I did. I did soil. I graduated as a soil scientist.
Interesting.
Yeah, and in Federal University of Agriculture.
Okay,
so that's where I did my bachelor's. Yeah.
Fantastic. Because you know, in Nigeria, right? And this is why maybe many parents want you to like go into like those core professions, doctor, medicine, law, engineering, whatnot, because they feel like you could actually use that degree like to work and earn good money. So it's quite interesting that that you eventually pursued it. That was brave, really. That was really brave. But what was the experience in the university like for you? Where did you go into any entrepreneurial thing while you were in the school?
Yes, that was my major entrepreneurial journey. So I wasn't happy with what I was studying, unfortunately. I knew I wanted something more. I wanted to be something better, you know, and no offense to soil scientists, right? I just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to go into business, right? In fact, my teachers usually used to tell my parents then, that this is not a science student girl. This girl's more of like a commerce student, but they didn't want to hear. But me, I knew because I was always looking for what to sell. There was a time I used to do like exchange. I had a library because my mom used to buy me. I keep saying my mom a lot. My mom used to buy me lots of books because she knew that my mom was semi-literate, so she loves to see her kids read, right? So since the time she noticed I love reading newspapers, she used to stock them, and she used to stock storybooks for me. So I had like a library in my room. So I used to exchange books with other nerds in my school for like 15 naira then just to buy sweets. So my teacher used to see it when we exchange and be like, my mind is not okay. Collect book, give me 15 naira. That kind of thing. So I used to do that a lot. So my teachers noticed that I was really into like commerce kind of thing. So in school, I knew that I didn't want to be a soil scientist. I wanted to be someone that sold something, a business person, right? So the first thing I did, I was in 200 level. My dorm, we're always having these electrical problems. This issue that our plumbing is bad, the electricity is bad, our fan is not working. So we had to wait for the indigents to come and fix them. It could take like a month, a couple of months, couple of weeks. You know, and I felt that this is a problem, right? And I feel that there should be a solution to this. So I think that this was when it occurred to me that I was good at looking at something and finding a solution, and not leaving the solution for others to do it, but see if I can create a solution, right? So I was speaking with one of my friends about it, that this problem, that don't you find that this problem, that all of us having to be waiting for someone to come and fix our stuff is not troublesome to you? And they're like, it's troublesome, but what can you do about it? Exactly. And I was like, but what if we can do something about it? What if I can do something about it? So then I just took a paper and pen, and mind you, at this period of time, I wasn't taught anything about product management or anything. I didn't know anything about starting anything. I had zero idea. This was just me and my piece of paper and then Google, right? And I said, okay, how can I fix this? What if I can do this? What if I can do that? So the idea around that time was to connect students with other students that could fix things. So instead of waiting for the indigents, why not? I knew that there were some other students on ground that could do these things. That were handier than the rest. Right? I know someone that can fix my kettle, right? But you don't know the person, but I could know the person, right? So I said, okay, why not connect students like the handymen to other handymen, and maybe people that could sell their stuff, like a marketplace in the office, in the school, in the university, right? And I was not a coder. I could not code to save my life, but I have ideas, you know. And this was the first time. And looking back, it was crazy to me because I was actually doing product management work without any. I was UI UX. I was drawing the whole experience. Yes, I was drawing I was mapping, user mapping with no prior knowledge. I was just user mapping. I want the first step to be they will log in. I want the next step is that they should be able to search who can fix my stuff. I want the next step to be, I want to be able to contact this person, right? And I started asking around, like, okay, who can build this for me? So there was this guy in school then that built an app for the school, and it was very well recognized. It was celebrated, and his name was Uzo. Uzo, wherever you are, shout out to you. I love you. Thank you so much for keeping up with me. So I didn't know who this guy was, but I just heard about him. It was on the on our school's website where they like recognized him as a distant. So it was in final year. And I went to look for him. I went to look for him in his dormitory, and I came to knock on his door. So Uzo, hello, you don't know me, but my name is Omolara, and I have this idea and I want you to build it with me. And funny enough, Uzo looked at me and like, okay, where's your idea? And I gave it to him. It's like, wow, fantastic, let's build this together.
Oh wow. Just like that.
Just like that. Cool. So I just to go look for him, knock on his door. I want us to build this thing. And Uzo was already working like doing freelancing work then. So he worked with other guys. So we started together. We built this in his dormitory. We called it Jack App then. So it was called Jack App. That was when people started noticing me because I started talking about it to a lot of people. Started like trying to onboard other handymen. To make it faster, I started onboarding people that did other things like hairdressing, people that did tailoring, people that sold makeup, people that did makeup. So I started onboarding these guys into the system, into the app, right? And I think looking back, I was so optimistic. I was crazily optimistic. Like I just thought that, we'll just have this app come out and it will become big. Then I'll get investors. Because I read about how to build an app, what was the next step, because I had no prior knowledge. I wasn't trained in commerce. I was a science student, mathematics, English, biology, physics. That was all I knew. I didn't know any other thing. So I had to start learning. I started learning how to do this, how to do that. So that was my first product, built from the scratch with no knowledge.
Did you run that all through university?
Yes, from 200 level to like graduated.
What happened after you graduated?
It died. We weren't able to get founders. The funny thing I did, oh my God, I think I was stupid. I started writing letters. I started writing letters to businesses, not investors, to other businesses that, look, this is a young girl trying to build something. Why can you sponsor me? I started writing to other businesses. I'll be able to advertise your products or the stuff. So that I didn't know anything. I didn't know much about sponsorship or anything, right? So I started writing to businesses. A lot of them did not reply, but one person replied and was like, go and meet an investor. I'm not the right person, but well done on what you are doing. And that was a click. Like, okay, investor. So I started talking to people. I started talking to people about it that, okay, I'm looking for investors. I didn't know anyone. I was like 300 level then. So I think most times it takes a long time for a product to be fully ready. Yes, especially when we are both students. We have no money. My money I was given to Uzo was my allowance, right? So my mom would send me like 10k. I remove like 8k out of it, give it to Uzo. To keep our web up, to keep our this thing up, right? And I was just doing that back to back, and also we're just trying to do some stuff. But the app never really got fully ready until I was in like 400 level. So by the time we're ready to like push it out there, we had no investments. We had people that knew about Jack App. We had the website up, we had the web app up. It was on Google Play Store. People were downloading it. But I just was not matured enough to push it. I didn't know how to push it. I didn't know how to push it. I didn't know who to talk to. Right. I think one person I spoke to, one investor I spoke to, just kept taking us around in cycles. So it really demoralized me. Right. And I just woke up one day. I'm like, what am I doing? Let me just learn. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm just like trying to be something that no one is helping me. I don't know. I'm not speaking to anyone. Let me just like learn. So I think after university, when I graduated, I just took like a year to learn. I started reading a lot of books. I started applying to work in startups. Oh, nice. Right. So because I knew what I was doing was a startup, right? But I just didn't know how to start up right. So I started working. So I think my first first job was with a startup, right? So I had to learn from others that I've built before. So that was, to me, that's my own, like, that's something that I learned in my entrepreneurial journey. It's okay to take a pass. It's okay to accept defeat sometimes. I would say sometimes. It's okay to feel like, you know what, this is way beyond me and I need to learn
Right.
instead of just, winging it.
Yeah.
Right. It's very important to go through a learning process. In every journey, you need to go through a learning process.
Yeah.
You need to learn first.
I
So
agree.
that was my learning process.
Yeah.
It was a difficult learning process. Are usually difficult.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. They're usually difficult. These are the times you feel down.
Exactly.
You feel depressed.
You doubt yourself.
You feel you doubt yourself. You'll be like, why am I even doing this? Should I even go on?
And life can be funny because it's at that point in time that you feel like your peers are going through the roof with their achievements, and you're like, bro, what am I doing
here? Right. And to me, my vision has always been big, to create products that could impact the world. But during my learning period, I wasn't creating anything. I was just feeling down, feeling dejected that, this thing I put so much effort to, so I was in 200 level, I wasn't able to complete, so I felt like a failure. But for me, instead of dwelling on that thought, I just started reading a lot. Okay, how did Mark Zuckerberg do it? How did Jeff Bezos do it? How did these other people do it? Right? What was the learning point? What was their own curve? What was the learning curve? And how do I become better at raising investments? So I started reading a lot. I started writing. I started reading and writing on these things. And I learned. That was what I did. I learned. And there was a lot of things that I had to self-teach myself.
Okay.
Like, there are a lot of terminologies in startup I did not know that I had to learn. There were things in product management. At that time, it wasn't called product management, right? So it was something about building a product, building startups, right? There were things I needed to learn that I had to learn, right? I took courses as well. And I started working with startups. So that was like a... I started seeing things that I didn't see. Things that I assumed I knew that I thought I was doing right, but was actually wrong. So I started learning from my bosses. I started learning from people that I worked with, and to me that was a big difference in my startup journey.
Fantastic.
My learning process.
So what happened? Okay, you told me that the application died, but did you and Uzo ever get back together to work on anything since then?
Engineers, especially people as good as Uzo, they're always busy. They always have projects that's paying them pounds and dollars, and Uzo has to. He needs to have his own life. He needs to make his own money. To take my allowance that I'm going to use to be paying him. So I and Uzo were cool. We still talk to today. I still meet him for advice sometimes on apps, but for that project, that was the last for the both of us.
So you're currently running Pocket Foods.
Yes, I am.
How did you even get into the food industry in the first place? Why did you choose this problem?
It chose me.
Please share that story.
Okay.
How you came about
remember I told you that I started working with a startup, right? And I was deep in Ikeja GRA. And there was no eateries in sight.
Okay.
Not even a kiosk to buy snacks. Right. So anytime I go to work, I was always going to work with the thought that I'm going to starve today. Because I have to wake up really early from my place to the place together by 8 a.m. And sometimes I don't remember, or by the time I get home, it's very, very late. I don't have time to cook. And even if I cook, by the time I try to pack and everything the next morning, I'll get discouraged because I'm rushing. So anytime I don't pack food, right, I just know that I'm going there to go and starve. There was no two way about it, right? And that time I was earning 50K. Do I have the money to be buying food online?
True. I hear you.
I think even online, I think that was 2019. I don't know what
they were not
we
very popular.
Much.
They were not very popular at the time.
Food wasn't very popular then.
Absolutely not.
So it wasn't really easy. So I just managed with that. And the next place I worked as well, it was the same story. The next place I worked, they had an eatery. They had a buka nearby. Right, but it was very limited. It was either you're eating rice and beans, you're eating beans and bread, you're eating beans and something. Right? So to me, and I don't really like beans like that, but I find myself no other choice because it was affordable and it was nearby. That's the only thing I could eat. The next place I walked to was exactly the same thing. The next place I walked to was also the same thing. So this was around 2022, and I was like, you know what, it's enough. I've had it. What is going on? Right? Why do I have to suffer myself to have dysentery, diarrhea, constipation, food poisoning, because I cannot afford to be buying food every time, buying food online. I cannot afford the place because it was expensive then. So what's going on? And I asked my colleagues, my friends, and they had the same problem as well. A lot of them, you know, I think the way I was working then, they had a kitchen office assistant who just come in and take our orders. So I think the last straw was the day that she took my order and she messed up my order. She got me beans and rice with pomo. And I can't eat pomo to save my life. Really? I ate it. Wow. So I'm like, I just got pissed off that I was like, you know, I'm not eating this shit. I'm tired. I'm not eating this food. You know what? There needs to be a way around this. And I sat down, and I think it was during that period. That period of time. Shout out to one of my bosses then. She was the one that she paid for a product management course for me. For you. Nice. Right? Wow. So funny enough, I was a project manager then, and I was doing product. So she wanted me to learn project management, but through a stroke of luck, it was product management she paid for. Right? So I learned the course online, and I was really inspired. I think that began my love for product management, right? I loved the whole process of product discovery. I love the whole process of iteration. I love the whole process of
market
growth,
testing, validation,
everything. I loved it. I was so in love with product management. I started learning outside of what I learned in course, right? And I felt that let this be my first product I'm going to work on. So I had a problem, which was I didn't like the fact that I'm eating unhealthy at work. I don't like what I'm eating. I'm being forced to eat whatever because I'm just working somewhere that the place did not offer food for me. Okay, so how can I solve this problem? How could I do it? So I thought there was this methodology I learned when I was doing product management course. It was called to think like a beggar, to think like a monk, and to think like a rich person. Oh, wow. Right? So these were the three things. These were the things that helped me. And anytime I speak on product management to people I mentor, I usually use this as well as a product discovery tool. Right. So I'm going to teach you guys for free now.
Please, go ahead. Yes.
So there's something called the 3 method of thinking in product discovery. Right, not everyone knows this, but there's one called the thinking like a monk. Okay, let's start with thinking like a beggar. Right. So there's a problem. How would you solve it as someone with limited resources? You have no money. How would you solve it? So let's look at it in PocketFood's perspective. I have no money, but I'm not rich. But how can I be able to eat well at work?
So have like a variety of
food. Meals, So what I just thought was like, okay, why not have all my colleagues pool money together and give it to a caterer to be bringing food for us daily. That was the first idea for the thinking like a poor person. Yes. Now, if I was a monk, how would I do it? So what does monk stand for? Simplicity. How can I make things simple for me? Right? So I would say that for a monk, I would say, okay, I want someone I can call to be able to bring food for me daily, right? So I don't have to think about what to eat. Let the person just handle my menu and do the delivery. Now, if I was rich, right, how would I solve this matter? Definitely hire a private chef. So how can I pull these 3 perspectives into one product idea? This was what bettered PocketFood. A private chef kind of thing where you paid for the week to get your meals delivered to you. So that was the idea. And I asked my friends, like, okay, if you had someone that could deliver food to you Monday to Friday, you know, let's say, well, first thing I asked was, how much are you spending on food every day? Right? So I was getting between 1K a day to 5K, 5K in a week. So 1K every day, Monday to Friday, 5K. So that was my anchor. All right. So you guys are spending 5K a day to eat. Okay, what if I can use the same 5K to provide food for you Monday to Friday. 1K each? That was the time when inflation has not killed us. So to actually eat food of 1K was actually possible then. So I started a food subscription product that did 5K a week and we brought food for you. So I partnered with a private chef, right, to do this. And I handle the delivery and everything.
So you're just managing stuff like on like Excel?
Yes. So I knew I wanted to create a product, but I knew I wasn't a coder. But I wanted to test this idea.
Understand like the business of it first.
Even without an app, without the tech, can this process actually work? Right. So I gave myself a month that in 1 month, if I'm able to get 10 orders I would pursue this.
Okay.
But if I don't get 10 orders, then this idea is dead.
You
It's
really
not a good
set
idea.
the bar low, 10 orders.
Yes,
wow.
actually. I thought that I've always been an optimistic person.
Yeah.
I've always been so I said, okay, in 1 month, let me do this. Right. So as optimistic as I was, I started creating my website. I created a website.
Yeah.
I did a form, a Jot form. Shout out to Jot form. Jot form really helped me. I used Jot form for almost 6 months. So I used Jot form. I created a menu.
Yeah.
All of it. So I created something called kitchen this, kitchen that, kitchen this. It was a ghost kitchen kind of idea.
Okay.
So I used different meal plans. 5K, this one 10K, this one 12K, depending on what you can get, what you can afford. Right, and then delivery. Right, delivery. You pay the delivery, but we'll be bringing the food to you.
Yeah.
Right. Although sometimes. That's business operations. This thing. Some people will be like, "Oh, why not just give me one fixed price for delivery and we just deliver it?"
That's I get it off my mind
Get off my mind. So we have to look for delivery riders that we could partner with. We'll pay them a fixed price and they bring the deliveries to you. So that's how PocketFood started, and I started, I started with my colleagues first,
right?
And shout out to them; they actually loved the idea and they patronized. So my colleagues were my first customers, right? So in fact, they're able to hold my leg like, "This food is not sweet, or this food is sweet." So I'm like, "Okay, no problem, whatever." So it was a really great experience for me to watch my users interact with the product
in real life,
being in the office with them, watching them go through the Jot form to pick. Why do you add rice? I don't want you. People should change. There's too much rice options.
Yes.
So there was a lot of learning for me.
Real market testing.
So it was real market testing.
I love that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that helped as well. So I went on Twitter.
Okay.
I put on Twitter that this is the idea if you guys are into it.
Right.
And funny enough for me, on the day I posted on Twitter, the next day, I got a lot of likes and retweets, and I got one of my first loyal clients. Shout out to you, David. Till from that day in 2022 to today, David is still a customer.
Oh, nice! Shout out to David.
It was one of my first clients, and I had a lot of first time users from that experience. I was solo founding. Remember, I was solo founding. I rolled up my sleeves. I did this thing back to back. I was going to the kitchen. Sometimes I had to go and do the deliveries.
And this was, you were still working.
Yes, I was still working. I was still working then. So in a month I got the 10 orders I was looking for.
Fantastic.
I said that there's something here. There's something here. And then I started having mentors because like I told you, there was a time of learning, and I realized that during the time I was building in university, I had no one to guide me. I had no one to bounce back my ideas with. So it was just I and Uzo, and Uzo was like, any idea I came in, it was fantastic.
Let's build.
Developers don't really care.
Just want to build.
Just give me the UI UX, give me the process, I'll do it. Anything you bring, it's good. Anything you bring, good. So I had no one to tell me that this is a stupid idea or this is a great idea. So I learned that, and I started looking for, mentors. I prioritized advisors, mentors, people that have been there, done that. And God having it, one of my cousins was already doing good in the startup space. Right. So it was when I introduced me to one of my co-founders. I've known the co-founder for some time, but I didn't know him in the sense of, we can start a business together. I was just like a cool friend and something like that. So we came together, and it was like, he gave me my first check. It was 10 million naira. Yeah.
Wow.
In 2023, January. Cool. Gave me my first check, 10 million naira, and we became co-founders, and we started building PocketFood from the scratch. Got my first set of staff. We started applying to stuff, accelerators, grant stuff, and we got funded in August. I think August or July of 2023. Congrats. Right, and it was just up from there.
Fantastic. I love, what I personally enjoy about this story is how you were on the ground with the people that gave you clarity on the idea, right? Because very often, and how it is today, most of the times, is a founder has an idea, right? But that's intimate connection you had with your early users. They usually don't have that, in the sense that they are getting market analysis and data from the internet. I would not advise that. Exactly. I won't advise that. So I love that particular approach that I took. Obviously, that is the most advisable way to go about it. But that's fine.
Prioritize user testing.
Exactly. Now, where is What have you noticed, especially in this food space that you're in now? Because we've seen so many food delivery applications pop up, right? And some are doing really, really well.
Yeah.
What do you think has changed in terms of acceptance of this product? Because you said that when you started experiencing this problem, they were not around at the time in 2019. Yes. They were maybe just starting to pop up here and there. But what has changed over time?
I think trust.
Okay.
People's willingness to trust food where they've not gone to go and buy it from. Yeah. So I commend the first starters that started this. Yeah. Funny enough, I was speaking to one of my mentors a few days ago on Jumia and what they did for the economy, what they did for Nigerians. Right. They did something. They were like they opened a lot of things for the e-commerce ecosystem in Nigeria, right? They were able to what's that word, to start and fail for us, because they started this thing called pay on delivery, right? When they came in, a lot of people did not really trust the idea of buying stuff online
without
right? What I ordered versus what I got. So there was a lot of what I ordered versus what I got fears amongst Nigerians. And Jumia was brave enough to do that, even if it's hurt them in the bigger picture. It has hurt them, but their sacrifice is what led to the trust for millions of Nigerians to trust online deliveries. True. Online food, online clothes, and online electronics. So I think the people that opened the door for this trust is one of the things that helped us to change the perspective for Nigerians to be able to order things online. So now, because of the big guys now, Chowder, Glovo, and stuffs, a lot of people do not find it strange to order food online.
What do you see them as competitors in that you are more B2B and they are like B2C, I would say? Yeah. Do you see them as competitors?
In the beginning, it was a lot of for some of my investors and some people, they're like, "Oh, are these guys competitors for you?" Blah blah blah, things like that, right? And during that time, I didn't see them as competitors because I saw myself as a service. Like we were providing subscriptions, right? Yeah. You paid once and you get your food delivered instead of having to go online every time. You want ordering your food and stuff like that. And this was when we were doing B2C. So it was late last year we pivoted to B2B. Right? We saw a huge potential that a lot of people were not looking into. A lot of companies are feeding their staffs. Before they weren't, but now they were. Right? In the beginning, when we started PocketFood, a lot of businesses weren't. That's why we're focusing on professionals like B2C. Right? But we started seeing a shift quietly, especially post-COVID. Right? A lot of businesses started looking at using other alternatives of benefits to entice their talents, right? So food was among them. A lot of big guys now, right? A lot of offices now, it's slowly becoming the norm to feed their staff, right? That it's very possible that for me to decide to work with you, because your benefit is food, I would rather choose you than the other one.
Because I know that I don't have to think of what to eat, lunch
and stuff like that. Now it's becoming popular. It's becoming a popular option compared to before. And I saw that early. Right. And I realized that a lot of people were not really doing it right. Right? Businesses were doing this more manual than having it more structured. Now, the bulk of the work is happening with the admin. The admin is to find the vendors. The admin is to manage the vendors. The admin is to coordinate the staff to pick the meals. The admin is to coordinate the payments and everything. All this thing can be done from one dashboard. Admin does not have to go through all this stress. So we capitalized on that. We started building a product for admins, businesses that would operate the whole process from vendor vetting to the client, from the staff onboarding to the staff picking what they want to eat to the payments of these vendors and everything. So we started doing that. We've built a system around that, and thankfully today we recently launched our B2B. It's called PocketFood Business Dashboard, and you can find it on pocketfood.io for businesses that want to and go through this. We've gone through the beta. We've tested with our clients. Good thing is that we are currently in Abuja, Ibadan, and in Lagos, right? So we have great clients in Abuja that beta tested this for us, used it in their own environment, see how it works, and they loved it. And back to our user testing, it was their feedback from this client that we used to tweak our product to what it is today. So would I say childcare and the rest are our competitors? I would say no, because we're offering more than food delivery. We're offering a service. We're offering admin time keeping, but we're offering what's it called, staff team onboarding.
Right.
We're offering meal financing.
Kind of like a bespoke service.
Yes.
Food service.
So we're looking at it as an operating system for meal management in the corporate world.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
nice. Yeah.
So that's what is one operating system for meal management in the corporate world.
So
a lot of people will be doing meal management going forward. But
how does it now work for like regular everyday people? Can we still get food on Pocket?
On PocketFood, right now we've pivoted to B2B completely. Ooh. So our model is working with businesses to feed staff. So now it's up to the staff to push PocketFood to the to the admin. Yeah. So once the admin, your admin is using PocketFood, automatically you are benefiting, because PocketFood allows admin to onboard team members on the platform and on their own website, on our web app. Team members can go and pick what they want to eat, just like how they will pick food from anywhere. Yeah. They can also schedule this food, like Monday. If they like now, we have a lot of hybrid situation going on. Yes. Coming Mondays, coming Wednesdays. So for the days you are coming, you can pick the meals that you want to eat on that day beforehand. Yeah. By the time you get to the office, by 12 o'clock, your food is waiting for you.
That's fantastic. Do you guys have plans at PocketFoods for expansion into like other African cities, or do you just want to focus on Nigeria?
We are very largely African, not just Nigeria, right? The goal, because we are currently fundraising, the goal is to expand into similar economies, similar markets with Nigeria. Talking about Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, South Africa, these guys, our plan is to go in there, and our plan is actually bigger than what you currently see. When I say operating system, I'm not joking. Yeah. Right. We have growth plans, man. We have a lot of things that we want to do. We are looking at financing, meal financing. We're looking at
really?
Yes. We're looking at card. We're looking at providing allowance card system. So because of we've been with a couple of guys. We've won a couple of grants. One of it with Zenith Bank. Right. We're also doing some another things. Another bank I cannot mention right now. So we have we're looking at partnerships with banking institutions to provide services to businesses that is on a large scale, even multinationals. No matter where your head office is, even if it's in France, so far you have employees in Africa, we should be able to cover their feeding. Feeding, right? So that's how big we are looking at it. We are looking at delivering solutions that would make the whole meal management process easy. That's the growth. So we're looking at expanding outside of Nigeria. We're looking at adding a suite of more features and more products. In fact, we're talking about partnerships with payroll companies. Stuff like that.
I see that happening. What are some traits that you feel have helped you throughout your entrepreneurial journey? I know right now we're beginning to see a lot of female entrepreneurs and founders. Previously, it was not so. But playing in this space where it appears to be heavily male-dominated, if I can still say it that way, because I feel like it's really becoming very balanced. How have you been able to navigate this whole industry?
I think the most important trait that helped me the most is resilience. Finding yourself falling down multiple times and still being able to get up. Even if after you were down for some time, you're still able to get up and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to attack this. I'm going to do this no matter what. That's the resilience that really helped me. Because I feel like if I had given up the time I wanted to give up, I won't be here. True. And let me tell you, there are a couple of times I wanted to give up PocketFood. Couple of times. Really? Yes, there was a lot of times I wanted to give up. Like, I felt so pressured. I felt like I had a lot going on. I had to go to school because during PocketFood I was also doing my master's.
I see.
I had to go to school. I also lost my dad.
Sorry about that.
Yes, thank you. And I had to support my mom and my sibling. So life was life. And then PocketFood was also kicking my ass. There were sometimes like a lot of some problems, some challenges, especially during the fall thing, pricing going up.
Yes.
Sometimes losing vendors because some of them had to close down.
Up,
they could not take up the pressure. It was a lot of pressure, but I didn't. Even to today, I'm not giving up. I haven't given up, and I don't think I'm going to give up.
I love
right?
that.
I am that stubborn.
Yeah.
So resilience is something. It's a trait that every entrepreneur should have, and if they don't, they should nurture. Right before they give up. Try everything. Try everything humanly possible. Before you give up.
I don't want to stretch this, but I usually think, how do you know when you've like gotten to your wit's end, really? But I feel like nobody should have to experience that. And founders, it's hard to draw a line between where you feel like it's no longer working and maybe I still have some sleeves, a few tricks up my sleeves.
I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told much people, and it's going to be on podcast. You would never know when you get to your wit's end.
Yeah.
You can never know when you get to your wit's end. There was a time I had a very large client. I'm talking about 800 meals a day. I'm talking about multi-million deal.
Yeah.
Right? We've gotten to the point where we knew that this client would make us. Right? This client is going to change everything. And we've signed the contract, SLA and everything. And we were to start, and the vendor messed us up, and we lost that contract. I thought I was going to die. It was that bad. I was like, I'm not doing it again. What did I do wrong? I dotted my T's. I was there with the vendor. Everything was supposed to go out nice. I trusted this person.
You are the
this
finish line.
This was supposed to be something that would make us, and it went down the drain. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my wit's end. We've gone through a lot to get to where we are. We've gone through a lot of hurdles. We've failed a lot. I've prayed a lot. I've hoped a lot. Yeah. So what went wrong? And not if I was a normal person, if this was like someone that wasn't as resilient as I was, I would have off my heart and I'm like, this is the wit's end and I'm done.
Yeah.
But what did I do? I paused again. I did my own pausing. Went into myself. I'm like, okay, you know what? Is this going to be the end? Or because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I had staffs. I had people that are open, praying for PocketFood. I had investors. I had mentors that were looking up to me. People that were looking up to me were a lot. Am I going to disappoint? Am I going to stop everything and just giving? And one way or the other, I didn't.
Yeah, I love that.
Today. Well, today we still have dreams, we still have hopes. Yeah. We are still talking to investors, we still have things that we're doing, right? And things are still working.
Bounce back,
we bounce back, right? Yeah. And funny enough, we got another client, right? That we are currently working with now. That is giving us almost the same thing that we lost.
Fantastic.
Right? So if I had given up then, I would have felt like the end of the world. I won't see someone like that again. But funny enough, guess what? We found someone again, right? And we learned from the past mistake. Yeah. We learned I think it will get to a point where you'll be like, whatever it is that's happening to you now, are you going to take it as a lesson to keep going forward? Are you going to take it like your killing blow? Yeah. So is this going to be a blow that will kill you, or is this going to be a blow that you will learn from? So it's up to you to decide. Yeah. So that's what I'll say. I think
you sort of like answered the last question I was going to ask about like direct advice to founders. But maybe do you have any other thing you'd like to share with founders, like what has helped you apart from resilience? What should founders know going into this industry?
Your customer is God.
Right.
Your customers are always right. Yeah. So one thing I usually tell people, especially people that I mentor, is never assume you know what your customers want. Right? Me personally, I've fallen into that trap where I felt like, I know what they want. They want this, they want that. Right? But thankfully, I was able to learn early enough to learn, to hear, and to listen, right? Customer interviews, customer surveys, focus groups, speak to people, speak to your clients. If you cannot go on the phone and talk to your clients, then there's a problem somewhere. No matter how big your client is, even if you're working with oil and gas, even if you're working with Dangote, be able to call him and ask him questions directly, right? Focus on ensuring that whatever it is that you're pulling out has been something that your clients have said they wanted. Yes, so you need to heavy on validation. Heavy on it.
I love that. I think I would like to end on that note. Heavy on validation. Don't build in silo, right? Because you never really know what your clients or your customers or your users want. It's been amazing hearing from you, Omolara. Thank you so
very
much for coming on the show.
Me. Thank you.
That's been it on this week's episode. I'm your host, Kemeshi Samuel. You've been listening to Omolara, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.